Moss ends up working behind a bar in the workouting photo channel for Alex Nelson. 37 minutes. Thursday, August 24, 2017. The IT Crowd is the kind of classic sitcom that should never have worked in the mid-oh. But it did, thanks to Graham Linehan's sharp writing, which blended surreal elements with relatable situations, and a cast of characters that were as funny as they were interesting. Set in the London offices of the fictional Rain Home Industries, the show revolved around Roy, Moss and Jen, the skeleton crew of its out-of-sight, out-of-mind IT department. And its greatest episode aired 10 years ago to this very day. A trip to the theater. The IT Crowd was enjoyable from the start, but it was the second series where the show really hit its stride. There was a new boss, Chris Morris. Denhomer Rain Home stepped aside for son Douglas, played by Matt Berry, and a statement of intent in the shape of the series' first episode, Workouting. A masterclass of comedy writing, it juggled interweaving plotlines and ridiculous scenarios with songs about willies. Photo Channel 4. The premise of the episode is simple. Handsome coworker Philip drops by to borrow a copy of Heat magazine and ask Jen to the theater. Moss and Roy invite themselves along when they realize that Laura Knightley, a fictional actress from The Bill, actually played by Richard Ayoade's wife Lydia Fox, will be there. When Philip pops back for the Heat magazine had forgotten to take, Roy convinces Jen that Philip is gay, and the intentions of his invitation may not be what they seem. An ill wind is blowing when word of the trip reaches Richmond. Noel Fielding's secretive fourth member, who rarely leaves his tiny, dark office, he declines the invitation with an ominous monologue. An ill wind is blowing. Last night I was stirred from my slumber by a crow calling 3 times. Caw, caw. Will you know what a crow sounds like? Passing to my window, I trod on a piece of Lego. Oh, it went right in the heel. Hear me well, no good can come of your trip to the theater tonight, no good at all. And he's right. The situation begins to deteriorate from the moment they arrive. The trio realize they are there to see Gay the musical, which rattles Jen's assumptions about Philip's sexuality, and makes the somewhat homophobic Roy a tad uncomfortable. At the interval following a hilarious montage of catchy songs, Roy and Moss are unable to use the urinals when they find the theater employs a toilet guy. So Roy heads to the disabled loo. But then he pulls the emergency cord instead of the flush. Fearing his improper use of the facilities could land him in trouble, he feigns disability, telling the concerned ushers he is leg disabled and his wheelchair has been stolen. Cue a series of events that involves unwitting suspects, numerous awkward misunderstandings, and the promise of a long mini-bus ride to Manchester. Aren't all musicals gay? Linehan manages to deliver an episode that never feels exploitative or offensive. The jokes are always at the expense of Roy, Moss and Jen. Never the gay or disabled characters. Roy claims he is comfortable with his sexuality, yet we laugh at his discomfort around gay people. Moss' attitudes are changed. Every value I've held is being questioned, and I'm loving it. Jen's insistence that Philip not be gay derives only from her own tunnel-visioned desires. Photo Channel 4. No humor is made of the genuinely disabled theater guests in the episode. Instead, the laughs come from Roy's ridiculous decision to pretend he is not able-bodied, and the increasing absurdity of the situation that follows. You're very welcome, madam. The show's finest moment comes towards the end of the episode, when Jen offers Roy a drink after grilling him on how he ended up in a wheelchair. Acid. Before turning to the bar to find Moss working there. Moss had previously used the staff toilet in his own bid to beat urinal stage fright, and upon being discovered, was roped into doing a shift. Jen gets her own moment of humiliation too, when it's revealed that Philip is in fact gay, telling her, "I thought I could make it work because you look a bit like a man." It's the culmination of half an hour's worth of comedic seeding. Just when you think the situation can't get any worse, it does. We're laughing at ridiculous decisions fueled by social awkwardness. At characters who would rather fake paralysis than admit their mistakes. The deeper they fall into their respective charades, the less likely it looks like they'll ever get out, and the funnier it is. The Workouting might be the finest farce in British sitcom history. The IT Crowd is available to watch on All 4 and Netflix UK. More from How Blackadder Goes Forth captured the absurd tragedy of war. Are you afraid of the dark? The 90s show that was like the Twilight Zone for kids. Why Freaks and Geeks was the most underrated show of the 90s when Radiohead cameoed in South Park's darkest episode. How Curb Your Enthusiasm's best episode surprised Sopranos fans and news. http://cinews.co.uk